Hi, I'm Sarah Wilhelm, certified personal trainer, nutrition specialist, and owner of Green Zone Health and Fitness. And today we're going to be doing a recipe for you guys. This is super easy, super delicious, and it uses minimal ingredients. One of the reasons why I personally love this recipe is because you can use it to take with you to social gatherings. You can use it as one of your weekly meal prep items. So these are actually all the ingredients that we're going to be cooking with today. So here we have 2 cups of chickpeas that have been rinsed and drained already. So this is going to be a little over 1 can. Here we have a slice of bread. This is 60 calorie whole wheat bread, but you can use any kind you'd like. And what you want to do is leave it sit out for about an hour or so it can make breadcrumbs more easily. Here we have all of our spices that we're going to use. So in this container we have garlic powder, we have onion powder. Over here we have Italian seasoning. This is black pepper in the middle. And over here we have some dried thyme. You can also use dried parsley, really whatever you have on hand. And then here we have our flax eggs, or they will be flax eggs. You mix the ground flaxseed with water. I'll show you how to do that. It's super easy. But this is a really great egg substitute to use in your recipes. And then we're gonna spray the pan down with nonstick cooking spray. We're not gonna use oil because we wanna have minimal fat in this particular recipe. So we're gonna get started right away by mashing the chickpeas with the potato masher. Okay, so what you want to do is grab your potato masher and you're just going to start mashing these chickpeas. Now this is probably going to take you at least a minute or two. You really don't want to have any pieces of whole beans in there. You want it to be a paste-like consistency. And you know, those of you who have been following us for a while now know that, well, number 1, we're vegan, and number 2, we like to use as minimal ingredients as possible. Oftentimes in cooking, especially vegan recipes, there's a lot of added fat. There's a lot of olive oil added, avocado, nut butters, things like that, especially to make the ingredients stick together to bind them. But you can use things like flaxseed eggs, which I'll show you in a minute, to really minimize the fat in your recipes, because you should only have your fat be 20% of your daily caloric intake. So you're just gonna, again, mash these until they get into like a paste-like consistency. Okay, so when you're finished mashing your chickpeas, this is what they should look like, a paste-like consistency with no whole chickpeas that are still there. Next, what you want to do is add your flaxseed egg. So what this is ground flaxseed here, and you're just going to add water to this, and all the measurements are going to be in the link below, but you're going to add water to this. To make it kind of like a glue-like consistency. Okay, so after you add your water, you're just gonna stir it together and let it sit aside. I've actually had mine sitting for 10 to 15 minutes, so it's gonna look like this. So actually, before you start this recipe, before you start cooking, you probably wanna start making your egg first. Just so you can let it sit and harden up a little bit until it gets that consistency. So I'm just gonna dump my flaxseed egg into my chickpea mixture. Set that in the sink. Okay, and you're just gonna mix this together a bit more. And we cook a lot with ground flaxseed and flaxseed eggs. It's just a really great binder for stuff like this. You can use it in sweets and dessert type recipes. So after you have it mixed together a little bit, you're just gonna dump everything else in. So these are all our spices that I showed you in the beginning. So you're just gonna dump those in there, set that aside. And then you're gonna take your slice of bread and you're just gonna crumble it up into small breadcrumbs. Okay, now that you have everything combined, you want to scrape this off of your, any leftover scrape off of your potato masher. You can set your potato masher aside, and then you just want to kind of take a fork and then mash everything together so it's well combined. Okay, so this is what it's gonna look like. From this point, you're ready to make your chickpea meatballs. You wanna make sure that all of your meatballs are gonna be the same size. So I like to use a tablespoon. You can use really anything you'd like, but this way I know that all the meatballs are gonna have the same amount of calories, the same amount of carbs, proteins, and fats, which you'll find in the recipe link below. But what I'd like to do is, before I start doing this, we wanna spray our pan with some non-stick cooking spray. Just make sure you get that really nicely coated. We're gonna set this aside, and you are ready to spoon your meatballs. So what I like to do is to get them all on the pan, and then you can roll them into your meatball. So now that we have all of them on your baking sheet, you are ready to roll these into meatballs. So we're just gonna start over here. Now, midway through this process, you may need to wet your hands a bit because they're gonna become sticky, and you don't want the mixture to start sticking on your hands. So now that you have them all rolled into meatballs, what you wanna do is stick these in the oven. It's gonna be a 450-degree oven for 30 minutes, and you wanna flip these periodically. So what I recommend that you do is just set your oven timer for 10 minutes, do 10-minute increments, and flip them around once every 10 minutes. So we'll come over here. My oven has already been preheating, so we'll just throw them in there. I'm gonna set the timer up here for 10 minutes, so I would know when to flip them over, and that's it. All right, so this is your finished product right here. Now, if you guys are entertaining, all you do is just throw a toothpick in these, and you throw them on a plate with some dipping sauce. This in particular is barbecue sauce, but you can use anything you like. A marinara sauce would also be really good. If you're not entertaining and you're just using these for meal prep, that works too. Just take a Tupperware container with a lid, throw them in the fridge, throw them in the freezer. They freeze great, and then you can just pull them out when you're ready to make your meals with them. So I hope you guys like this. I hope you guys enjoyed the recipe. Make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe to see more of our future content. Thanks, guys.